Hey everyone, I'm back. It's been a while, summer, things happening, a lot going on. And one of the things that has been going on is what I want to talk to you about today is the Microsoft Copilot year in review. So this video all about Copilot. I'm going to take you through some items that I find interesting personally, like the latest Copilot numbers, looking at the annual results of the Microsoft shareholders meeting. I want to talk about if Copilot is delivering. I want to give you some um, information about what has happened around licensing of Copilot. I want to talk a little bit about Copilot pricing, and I want to look forward towards the future where I feel that Copilot might move to. And why this video was personally, I think this AI space that we're in right now, super important. So a big growth area all around, but also and very much so for Microsoft. They've announced that they will increase their investment efforts on AI to a multitude of what it was in 2024, their 2024 fiscal year, I should say. Moving into fiscal year 2025, where we are now, they're going to increase investments into AI. They just can't keep up with demand, apparently. So that's why I want to have a look at Copilot, specifically Copilot for M365. But also I will talk a little bit more about the other items within the Copilot family. So first and foremost, the numbers. Let me switch the screen a little bit so that it's better for all you all to see. The latest numbers, according to Microsoft, there are now over 60,000 customers using Azure AI services. So they're benefiting and using the Azure AI tech stack to create solutions for their companies to help drive business productivity, etc. So there's a growth of 60% quarter over quarter. So even in a short time span, this is going insanely rapidly. Major companies like EY called out here on the screen, but it's also called out in the annual shareholders meeting that Microsoft did. They're equipping their entire workforce with Copilot for M365. So that's over 100,000 users easily that are being onboarded to Copilot for M365. Copilot is Microsoft is heavily focused on Copilot and has been expanding its portfolio with the Copilot Studio, Copilot for GitHub, Copilot for security. So much more products are being built around it. The Copilot for M365 offering is currently one of the main drivers for the M365 productivity revenue, with a growth of 13% year over year. Now, is it delivering? So in some early research that we saw Microsoft do themselves, they found that there was a 70% increase in user productivity. 29% of these people claimed it helped them perform tasks easier, like searching, writing, and things like summarizing faster. Is this actually true? From the research that they did, is that there some independent research, for instance? Well, there seems to be little independent research so far, but we can go by experience, and I can leverage my own experience in this case as a Copilot user, but also the companies that I talk to that use Copilot. And it seems to me that it does seem that a lot of people see that it offers promise, but we're not there yet. For example, what I personally find very convenient, and what others and a lot of other people with me, it's very convenient for many tasks in Teams. So I love the feature of it transcribing my meetings, and that I'm able, after the fact, to query these, get a list of action items, find out and summarize the meeting, see if this was captured correctly, and it saves me just so much time. However, and what I've been hearing in the market as well for other applications within the Office 365 suite, like for instance Excel or even Word, people find it a bit lacking still. It's nice to be able to query and to ask them for a summary, to ask to write a conclusion based on a report. And that might save you some time. But what people will definitely find lacking is that it's still not integrated to a whole. So it's very siloed. So you can use Copilot within Word, you can use Copilot within Excel, you can use Copilot within PowerPoint, but you cannot use it across the different applications easily enough. So you can ask Copilot, for instance, to create a PowerPoint presentation based on an Excel spreadsheet or based on a Word file, but it's still very much siloed. So I think that what I will call out later again as well, as a next step, Microsoft should make that integration happen a lot more seamless and smoothly, so that Copilot in PowerPoint learns from what is being done in Copilot within Word or Excel or Teams or Outlook. Wherever you're using Copilot, you want to bring that to the other application, not that you have to retrain that in the other application, which I find that you have to do right now. And a lot of feedback that I get from my clients as well is that, for instance, Copilot for Excel just doesn't do very well. So I do think the promise is there, and I do see a bright future here, especially if Microsoft is able to deliver on this promise. I do see also a lot of promise in, for instance, Copilot Studio, where you can really create your own large language model based on your own data, etc. Copilot for security seems to show a lot of promise because it's a very difficult subject, especially if you don't know or have a security team within your own organization. That this can really help you move forward to that next level. So there's a lot of promise in the different Copilots, but it just needs to take that extra step. So over the past year, a lot has happened with Copilot that I want to call out. It's about pricing and licensing, because obviously that's my key focus still, where I do want to educate everyone that follows me on what is happening in this space. Many things have happened here. So from a pricing perspective, pricing hasn't really changed. It's still $30 per user per month. And what we have seen is that Microsoft is able to offer discounts on Copilot for M365. How? By committing. So you, as the end customer, need to commit a certain amount of licenses, and in return, you could get a little bit of discount. We haven't seen very high discounts. I also haven't personally done any very sizable Copilot deals in, for instance, tens of thousands of Copilot licenses. But what we have seen is that there is like a graduated tiered system in these discounts. I'm not entirely sure what the tiers are, but the higher your commitment is on Copilot for M365, the higher your discount might be. The discounts are not that big, basically. So that means that Microsoft is saying we're not really making a lot of profit based on the product that we have released. So we're not going to be able to give you a high discount on it. What is new and fresh off the presses, what we've heard in the market, is that Microsoft is going to be releasing an offer now, a sort of, Happy New Year, Happy New Fiscal Year Copilot offer, where you can get a promotion with a reduced price of 15%. So that's quite sizable. Not sure about the specifics of this yet, but when we do figure it out, you will obviously be the first ones to know. Now on to licensing. So over the past year, many changes have happened. First, we saw that Microsoft quickly removed the 300 seat limit, and that was there for Copilot for M365. It was only EA focused. And then they opened it up by removing that threshold limit, and immediately made it available in MCA as well through, for instance, the CSP program, and later also in MCAE. Then what happened next is there were a little stack of products that you were able to put Copilot for M365 on. But as you can see in the screenshot on the screen right now, they've quickly broadened this to a large stack of products. So it used to be just the Microsoft 365 Enterprise Suite, a few business suites. They've opened it up to Microsoft 365 apps for business, apps for enterprise. They added education plans, and they even added the Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, OneDrive for Business, Microsoft Clipchamp, Microsoft Teams, the standalone programs to this list to make it easier for everybody that has these licenses to stack also an add-on for Copilot for M365 on top of this. Now, this increased availability is great, but it also means, like I said, that Microsoft needs to scale up their infrastructure. And this is an issue for Microsoft. They can't seem, and there's a worry in the market as well with a lot of the analysts out there, they can't seem to keep up with demand, especially for the AI services, but also for things like Azure, like the data centers slowly starting to fill up. Like Western Europe data center, we know there are issues there that some resources aren't available anymore. This might happen with Copilot as well. After a while, Microsoft can't keep up with the demand, the demand that's there, and they're just going to have to tell people no, basically, and that's what might be something that could happen in the near future. So they really have to scale this up because a lot of basically resources are needed in the Microsoft data centers in order to run these very heavy workloads like Copilot. Now, I've talked a little bit about it, but I want to reflect again on my personal experiences with Copilot because I've been using it over the past year. Initially, I didn't see me using it a lot. So I had it. I was able to query, like when it was still called Bing Chat, the chat version. I didn't really know what to do with it. Then after a while, I realized I can use this in Teams. So I started experimenting using Copilot for M365 to transcribe all my Teams meetings for me, immediately ask Copilot to summarize the meetings for me and to pull out any of the action items. And after a while, I got very comfortable with that. So that's a great feature in my experience. Like this saves me so much time. I'm in meetings quite a lot, sometimes all day long. This is perfect. And I can't even quantify how much time or money this saves me, but it's a lot. So I feel that that alone made it quite a good investment for me personally. Now, if I look towards the other applications like PowerPoint, Word, Excel, I don't use Copilot at all. For Word and PowerPoint, I sometimes do, but I do find it lacking. And maybe I'm doing it wrong. So if you have a different experience, do let me know. But for instance, in PowerPoint, if you want to create a PowerPoint slideshow based on a document that you have, I generally don't like what Microsoft Copilot for M365 creates for me. So these slides as well weren't created by Copilot for M365 for the simple fact that I didn't like what the application created for me. If you have any tips, pointers, maybe I'm doing it wrong, do let me know. For Word, I sometimes use it to write like summaries or a conclusion or pull out certain data from a large text file. Those are basic things that should be integrated into your work style more frequently and could be very useful. It's just that I don't think that that's worth the price that you have to pay for a Copilot for M365 license. Now, finally, some conclusions here. So in the coming year, I hope that a lot will still change around Copilot for M365. We should look towards the benefits versus the price tag. So one of the things that I notice a lot of companies struggling with is, how do I really calculate if Copilot makes sense for my organization? Can I create the use cases and create an economical model around this to make sense of the investment I need to do in Copilot for M365 and what I get from it in return? So that is a big ask towards Microsoft. So please help your companies that you work with on creating these value propositions for them. So really go into their organization, ask them, what are you doing right now where Copilot for M365 might be able to help with, and then create and build that out into a valid use case, and then therefore see if you can validate the investment versus what it is supposed to deliver. I see a lot of value in Copilot Studio towards the coming years. If you're not already using it, it might be very expensive for you as an organization, but this is basically the product that I do see a lot of benefit for. Like, you can just have it query your internal data and then create a large language model based on your own SharePoint site, basically. And you can just query that, search for things. It will make things so much easier. Again, Copilot for M365 just needs more work. I want to see that integrated through the different apps in a more seamless manner. That would be my biggest ask toward Microsoft. So don't have it as a siloed solution for the different applications, but have it run across the different applications. So if I query something in Word, that query is being saved. And when I am in PowerPoint, you can ask, can I continue based on the queries I've done within the Word application? Or if I have a Teams transcription, can I easily bring that towards Word and use it there? Yeah, that sounds to me like a dream. And then I will definitely use Copilot for M365 a lot more. And from a licensing perspective, don't expect too many changes unless Microsoft changes the functional capabilities of the Copilot products. Maybe, but that's a big maybe. There will be a new Microsoft 365 suite that includes some of these Copilot products. I could see that happening because Microsoft definitely wants everybody to start using Copilot in their day-to-day activities. And that's what the M365 suites were built for. But that remains to be seen. So maybe we would see an M365 E7. I'm not saying it's going to be in this year or even next year, but you never know with Microsoft. They are quick to release these suites at the blink of an eye and the whim of the moment. So let's see what happens. Finally, pricing-wise, I think it's too expensive still for a lot of industries. So there are a lot of low margin industries, like for instance, construction and engineering, healthcare, you name it, everybody knows them. Retail, for instance, as well, where it's very difficult to create a business case internally for the organization that makes sense to buy a product that is this expensive, especially if you don't get that grasp on the benefit that it's going to deliver for your organization. So it's not something that you can just splurge on, as we'll see what happens, especially not in an industry that's very low margin. So I do hope that Microsoft will work more towards helping organizations make sense of how to calculate the benefits of using Copilot for M365 for that organization. As I said, because the discounts that they're able to grant are so low, I think that this is a product that Microsoft has very low margin on themselves. So in order for them to better sell it to these industries, they should potentially look towards helping them or explaining to them how to calculate the benefits that they have instead of offering this at a very high discount. So that's basically it for this video. Took a bit longer than I expected, but yeah, there's a lot to say always about AI. Do want to thank you for watching, especially if you stuck through this entire thing. We're going to do some more videos toward the near future. Keep an eye out for that. We want to do a new session, online session on everything unified support, because we see that this is a very big pain point for a lot of organizations. So we want to spend some time on this, explain how you need to look at unified support, what your options are, what you shouldn't do, how you should negotiate your contract, etc. So keep an eye out. I hope to be back with that in the next 1 or 2 months. If you have any suggestions or things that you want from us, do let us know. Right down below. Ask us on LinkedIn. You know where to find us. Again, thanks for watching and see you next time.